Welcome to the first Create Your Clarity mini series for the podcast. So this is a series that will be an exclusive series that shows up here first on the podcast for all of you and all of you who decided you wanted to have some specific coaching on how to get unstuck and grow your business as a chronic illness warrior. Now, you might be really familiar with some of this content or not. This might be new because I usually deliver this content in an email. You will still get emails from me talking about these very specific things on how you can get unstuck and feel more confident in growing your business while living with chronic illness. But I thought it would make it easier for you and me. I recently did a couple of market research questions to all of you, and the majority of you said that podcasting was an easy way for you to consume interesting, impactful content and information that you felt like you would recall and remember. Some of you said email as well. And if you've been around these parts for a while, you will know that me and email are on an ongoing, growing relationship. It is not my favorite cup of tea, but I am learning to embrace it. However, I have found that creating content first and foremost from an audio version and then transcribing it or making it all pretty and stuff for email is a lot easier. What I was doing before was the opposite way around. I was creating an email and then recording a podcast. Why, Nikita? Why? I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that as a business owner, you're going to learn that maybe doing things a certain way is not serving you, and how to make it work for you is the most important thing to figure out. One of the things that I truly 100% believe is that even though we have challenges, our strengths can help us make a greater impact with our challenges, our weaknesses. We can leverage our strengths to make our weaknesses not so bad anymore. So that's what I'm doing here. And obviously, I love podcasting. I love sharing. All of the things I have to share with you comes so much easier. I feel like you can honestly feel and hear me. And so I'm excited to share this series with you. So what can you expect on this ongoing series? Well, on most Mondays, you will get a new email specifically talking about this podcast series, Create Your Clarity. Create Your Clarity is all about helping you get unstuck and becoming more confident in your business living with chronic illness. Now, what I will do is for 15 minutes or less, share something very specific that I have either seen within my own journey or my clients' journeys that stop them from getting to where they want to go. And I'm going to start with the all be all of episodes for this specific one. We're going to talk about 4 main ways that you can reset and really embrace how to get out of the stuck thoughts in a way. But first, let me talk to you a little bit. I don't know about you, but being a creative person and being someone who just loves people is part of how I stay sane. Literally. It's literally what helps me get through the day. But there have been times in my business and that I've seen in my clients' businesses that have felt like taking care of my mental health, my body, and business could not coexist. Here's what I mean. If you let all the gurus tell you, we've got to be willing to sacrifice our sleep and what we want now to get to where we want to go. That mindset, though, is what makes running any business, in my opinion, unsustainable. It's also why so many of us and so many of you might be thinking about giving up, mainly because of the mental and physical tax that takes on a person. Not to mention those of us living with chronic illness and chronic other autoimmune and anxieties and mental health issues and neurodivergency. If you're like me, you started your business to give yourself more choices, not take them away. With all of the advice, whether it's good or bad or however you want to put it, I personally have felt boxed in by how, quote unquote, I'm supposed to or I should be doing things in my business, especially when it comes to all the noise about marketing. I mean, my creative soul on multiple different occasions have felt like I am wearing on my last nerve and I am physically worn out. Are you feeling me? Do you feel like you're drowning in all the noise of your mental health and your mental health is suffering because of all of the shoulds and expectations we believe and the rules that have been made by whoever made them? Is your creativity starting to feel like a burden or non-existent in your business, in your life? And because you and I feel so deeply, it's harder for us to show up for a business in that place. It makes us harder to even juggle all of the things with our chronic illness when those things pop up, like flare-ups and new doctor's appointments, new doctors, and new trauma from the medical world. So what I have totally figured out for myself, and I use with all of my clients, is a time to do what I call a reset. It's seriously time, no matter if you are getting started in your business or you've been in business for a while. It is important to take a moment to reset. And here is how. Number 1, protect your mental health. I know you've heard this before, but when you create boundaries with what and who you allow to speak into your life, you can be more able to have those choices given back to you. You know, the ones we thought that were taken away when we started our businesses, that we had to sacrifice everything. When you protect your mental health, you're able to create better boundaries and choose who you will listen to, who will speak into your life and your business. I like to say not all advice takes into consideration what it's like living with a chronic illness and growing a business. Okay. Number 2, learn what triggers you to feel stuck and overwhelmed and what triggers the opposite response. So this is one of my favorite parts of the reset when it comes to getting unstuck, is that sometimes we really focus in on the things that get us stuck, right? The things that make us overwhelmed. But we don't actually identify what those things are, right? We don't actually take time to identify them. So the reset allows you to do that. The other thing it allows you to do is recognize and become more aware of what triggers movement, thought process, and actions, right? What creates a lighter experience for you? What triggers those feelings and emotions and actions? And lastly, the last part of this reset is to make a weekly, if not daily, habit of taking note of how you feel mentally while delivering or marketing your products and services. If you find yourself in a negative headspace while offering other services or your services are marketing it, it can lead to self-sabotage later because your mind wants to protect you from that pain. And if you're already living with constant pain, your brain is telling your body, we have enough to deal with. This is something we can avoid altogether. That is because our body is like, we've already experiencing enough of that pain. What does doing this reset really do for your business? Mainly, it puts you in a better frame of mind. It empowers you to choose again and gives you a greater capacity to create with ease and attract the clients and the life that you truly want. It's really hard to do that when you're looking at your life to get there as not that important. It needs to be all sacrificed and thrown to the wind. And I always like to think, at what point have you sacrificed too much, right? What point? Because we can sacrifice and sacrifice until we get to where we want to go and recognize we don't like where we are. So to get unstuck, you have to take time to reset. For me, I make this a daily, weekly practice, and quarterly, a more bigger, like overhaul looking. And I do this with all my clients. When my clients come in, we do kind of like I ask them what's going on. Let's look at some things. Let's pause and let's decide on what things for you right now and what's not for you right now, right? Not forever, like no, never, but right now. So that is the end of this Create Your Clarity first email series, podcast series. I don't know what I want to call this. It's like a mini podcast series that will be delivered to you in your email. This is going to help you get unstuck and feel more clear and confident to grow your business. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a voice message on my website or shoot me an email with a reply back or jump into my DMs on Instagram. All right, loves, can't wait to see you. And I will end these as well with, remember, you are crafted to thrive.